Joining me now is Gordana Slepcev. She is the CEO of Lomiko Metals. CEO, how does that sound?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Exciting, and we have quite a few good things going on for us now.
For
nowadays.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, new role for you. Belinda Labatt is now executive chair. So for those who may not be that familiar with your career, you have an extensive background in developing and operating mines. So maybe you could give us a little of that background.
Yes, for sure. By the training, I'm a mining engineer. So I've been working in operations for many, many years. Let's not say exactly how many, But basically, I have started 6 projects and closed one. I mean, closing is also part of the mining process as well. But prior to joining Lomiko, just was a part of the team, led that operation in rebuilding the barite reprocessing facility. And prior to that, I was for 7 years with Anaconda Mining, where I was also chief operating officer. And we were the group that acquired many other smaller properties, developed them, and also acquired Goldberg property, which is now in the permitting. So, quite extensive career in the mining development and operation. And, that's the skill set that I bring to Lomiko as we look to develop our flagship property, Le Loutre, further, towards the construction.
Mm-hmm. So that's the big graphite project in Quebec. We'll get to that in a second. But it's interesting that Lomiko, since we last spoke, has branched out. You've bought the Yellow Fox property in Newfoundland, and the property features antimony, silver, and gold. So tell us about why the acquisition was done and the benefits to Lomiko.
Yeah, of course, we're mostly focused on the graphite. We have Le Loutre and 7 other early stage properties. Some of them are really at the exciting stage, really great results that we have received recently. And we wanted to kind of provide that exposure to our investors to some other critical minerals. So really thinking about antimony, which is also controlled by China, the export is banned. It's something that we really need in our daily lives and also support energy transition as well. So knowing and being and working in Newfoundland for many, many years, I know it's also one great jurisdiction to work in the same as Quebec. There are many benefits for companies working in these provinces. So yes, it's a really exciting project, and we acquired that from the Metals Creek. And I had, of course, worked before with Metals Creek when I was CEO of Anaconda Mining. So quite different exposure, but it's also another critical mineral. So early stage, but very promising.
Okay, great. So back to Quebec with the graphite and the properties there. Exploration work has been turning up some high-grade results, and I believe you have 4 new zones. What can you tell us about what you've been doing?
Yes, it's really great. So we acquired 7 of these properties early in the project development, actually 6, and the 7th was Carmen. And we did, of course, geophysics and field work, and really Rousseau stood out of the other projects, which are also very prospective, but for the sake of the argument, let's talk only about Rousseau. So with this last work in the fall, we have this work on these 2 most western zones. We outline zones to about 1.5 kilometers, 1.3 kilometers, and we also discovered 2 newer zones. So really high grade. If you look, some of the deposit could be 4 or 5% the average grade that have reserves declared. Even here in Canada, having a project that's 28% carbon content, just quite significant. So quarter and more of that material that you get out, it's all pure carbon. So really good. And that most western zone, almost all of the samples are above 20% carbon content. So it is really exciting property, and we would be looking to do more work as soon as the snow is off. And then hopefully, depending on the funding, we may proceed with some drilling in the fall. But indeed, really great opportunity for us. And with the focus on developing Yellow Fox and Rousseau further, our main focus is really La Loutre and moving that project forward.
Right. And then as far as the rest of 25, you're doing bulk sampling. Presumably, you're still talking with potential downstream partners, and then more exploration at the various properties that you talked about.
Exactly. So we have renegotiated the contract with the Department of Defense, which still covers 50% of all the costs to finish pre-feasibility, baseline studies, feasibility, and metallurgical testing. But we shift some of these costs, so they would cover 100% of the pre-feasibility study, and Lomiko would cover the cost on the bulk sample. So just to kind of reiterate, we have received the $8.35 million from the U.S. government, and all these 8.35 million are half a cost we estimate to get to the production decision. And then with the bulk sample is to prove at the bigger and the bigger scale that we can do what we've done in the lab. What means, we took the rock and created the material and batteries at the end of the day that run very well at the industry standard. So we need to confirm that at the bigger and bigger scale, but also these materials that we would be producing with the bulk sample would be also shared with some of the downstream customers and, would help through that qualification process. So it's kind of doing two things, is just proving that the project works at the bigger and bigger scale, but also working with the customers and securing these downstream offtake agreements as we move further. So really happy with where we are now, and really happy to be starting all these works on pre-feasibility study and also on the downstream PEA.
And lastly, Gordana, when you're at events like this, can you summarize everything in, say, a 30-second pitch for us?
Sure. Most of the people would say, why would you buy some share? I would say, why wouldn't you buy the share of Lomiko, because yes, we're 8-9 million market cap and we have $17 million secured in the grant. So for average investor, they really don't have to put in this 17 million that would come anyway as you develop any project. So it's a huge value to the investors, but also something else to say, well, we're backed up by two governments and, also Quebec government as well. So, what one can want and more.
Exactly.
Yeah. So,
Thank you. Thank you very much, Gordana.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you for the update. Congratulations again on being the CEO. Very good. Gordana Slepcev, she is the CEO of Lomiko Metals.